Madi celebrates its first birthday on 11th.
Madi TV. Parane vozodri e.
I don't really just care, I wanna be with you. And no matter what they say I could be with you. I don't really just care, I wanna be with you. I know somebody might cause I know we're gonna be married one day. Come back, Puyut, Hajadi Kulutate. Me, I know we're gonna be married one day. One day. No matter what they say I could be with you. I don't really just care, I wanna be with you. And no matter what they say I could be with you. I don't really just care, I wanna be with you. They say you're not my type, we got differences, but I know inside my heart, I need your presence, baby. It's a light in the gurus, oh my do gurus, Shana in Buita, it's a light in the gurus, Santa Zuru, Fana Suita, it's a light in the gurus, Santa Zuru,
Madi TV. Parane vozodri e. Madi TV. Parane vozodri e. Madi TV. Parane vozodri e.
A very good afternoon to you all. I greet you all in the name of mighty Jesus. Mazi yang ichirila kamaru ni Garrison amuda ime jangini program lo so ituachi endo siriwi mai amato amua a studio gaki amudi omungadiki jorako kamadiki jokwesi disima me excuse la so lazizi bati gangada ba mazi laka ti mondo disira ma yang program di follow karelaka ako bikibio gata na jole kumuko jabano ni gamanchanga posi program lo sari madina njema maru ni Garrison amuda good afternoon to you all. This afternoon, I just want to introduce our guest to you. Ms. Cecilia, a very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Yeah.
Okay. Briefly, if you can,
Yes.
can you introduce yourself to our viewers so that they get to know who you are?
It's okay. So my name is Aputu Cecilia Simon. I am a student at Makerere University Business School, and I'm also the current president of the South Sudanese students at Makerere University Business School. I am a South Sudanese, a proud one. And to Madi TV. I'm very privileged to be hosted here once more. Yes, I remember the last time I was here, I was hosted here was 2 months back, and it was a great experience for me. So having me back here really means a lot. Um, I really don't take this for granted because I feel like there is a lot I'm learning from here. And yes, thank you so much once again.
We are very grateful to host you here as well for the second time. I remember the last time we were here, my colleagues told you that it's not going to be the last time, but it's going to be the beginning of your coming here frequently. So you're most welcome. Feel at home. This is your home. And today we are going to discuss about the roles of leadership. To be directly, we are going to talk about how can the youth ascend to the roles of leadership. So briefly, I know that you told us that you are the president of Makerere Business School, South Sudan Student Association president. You are holding that post. It is a very big post. I hope it's now going on well because the last time I hosted you here like 3 months back. How is it going?
Things are moving on smoothly, though not all that smooth. Yeah, there are some few challenges here and there, but that's what leadership is all about, right? So as leaders, we are here to solve problems, but not to enjoy the comfort zone. Yeah.
So, as the president of South Sudan Student Association of Makerere Business President, soon Madi TV will be coming to take a loan from you because we expect that there will be a lot of South Sudanese dollars sleeping there in that account.
We don't really have dollars. You know, our country, that is not our currency. That is not our currency. Like for
Okay.
real, that is not our currency.
Okay, directly to the topic and to the points. You are a very young Sudanese aspiring leader taking the role of presidency in that huge institutions. What aspire you, or maybe what inspire you to become the leader of South Sudanese student in Makerere Business School president?
What really inspired me to become the president, the challenges I saw in the association. Um, I remember when I first joined in my first year, the whole of the first semester, I really never engaged myself so much with the South Sudanese Students Association. I never attended any of their meetings, but then having completed my A level from leadership school, I felt it was really very right for me to start engaging myself in leadership. So in my second semester, I decided to be intentional about attending the meetings, seeing how leadership was being done, and yeah. So my first meeting was really not um, my first attendance wasn't really a quite good one because the turn up was really very low, and you find out that the current leaders by then, their aim was only, like getting the certificates because it is going to add value to your CV. So when I looked at that, I was like, oh, Cecilia, why don't you do something different? Why don't you, like, when the the current cabinet members are going to hand over, why don't you try to take this challenge? Maybe you can actually change what is going on and try to bring in what you learned from Leadership Academy of South Sudan into this leadership in the university. So yeah, basically the challenges that I saw inspired me to take up the presidential role in the association.
So talking about the South Sudan Leadership Academy, this is a relevant unknown school, but it's a school with a very excellent performance located in Nimule. Can you briefly explain to us about the school itself?
The school, it is a leadership-based school. It's let me say, it's established by some Americans. Actually, the owner is called Alex Radler, and his major goal is to groom up leaders from the different parts of the country, the different tribes. So every year Back then in our time, they used to take in like 50 students every year. But this time round, I think it started this year. They've increased from 50, now they've increased to 60. So they want to really groom up leaders for our country. We all know what our country is going through. And one thing I love about Leadership Academy of South Sudan is the fact that they try to put us in a care group setting where like you're put into families, you're divided into families. So for me, while at the Leadership Academy of South Sudan, I happen to be a grandma of the whole school, and then I'm a mom of my care group. So I had to have children from different backgrounds, different tribes. I had my firstborn was from Dinka, and then the second born was from Kojulu, the third born was a Madi. So it was really not an easy thing handling such individuals from different backgrounds. But I also learned a lot. Yeah, I learned a lot from that leadership. And the mere fact that Leadership Academy of South Sudan is trying to erase the aspect of tribalism. You see, the first time I entered the gate, I saw people welcome me with some bit of smile and, someone carrying your luggage to the dormitory, someone that you don't even know. So that first impression really brought some bit of change into my mind. What the negativity that I had in my mind towards other tribes immediately erased because of what I saw. It taught me that what our parents normally tell us isn't really true. Because as the young generation, we don't even know what our parents might have gone through. Okay, we don't know what other people are doing to others. You get? Our parents have gone through a lot of difficulties. They have gone through a lot of trauma. Yes. And at some point, some of them have reached a level, trying to convince us to even hate our fellows from the other tribes because of what the elders in those tribes have done to them, which is not a right thing. So Leadership Academy of South Sudan taught me that not everyone is really bad. Not everyone is really bad.
So the idea
And
of leadership. So the idea of Leadership Academy is to groom you guys so that you can coexist together. And what do you expect the leaders of South Sudan should have taken from this idea today?
Well, we should learn to embrace togetherness. That despite the different challenges we have amongst ourselves, well, we should learn to coexist with one another. Yes, and no one is a saint after all. No one is a saint.
You talk about your inspiration, your motivation to become a leader. You talk about how you guys were groomed up in Leadership Academy of South Sudan, which is situated in Nimole. And I want to ask you these questions. We all aspire to be somebody in our life. We sometimes emulate examples of others. Who is your greatest inspiration? I mean, in other words, whose example are you emulating? Who inspire you among the worldly leaders?
The person that really inspires me so much is my aunt. Yes, my aunt has taught me to be resilient, and she has taught me to be humble. As a leader, you ought to listen to other people and to share the little that you have, because there are moments where she does not really have much, but when she gets something small, she tends to share it with others. And that thing really motivates me so much.
I mean, when we look at the leaders of today, people become leaders because they are power hungry. They want to be wealthy. They want to dominate. They want to maybe instill among the population ideas of tribalism, nepotism. So what does leadership mean to you personally?
To me personally, I think leadership is all about taking responsibility, having to inspire others, guiding them, sorry, guiding them to become better one day. Yeah. And leading with integrity.
I mean, the reason why I asked this question is wherever you go in today's politics, whether being in Uganda, because we know in 2026 election is coming to Uganda, there this notion that people say they are dividing to rule us, they are dividing so that, I mean, leaders come there to divide the community so that at the end of the day, the community themselves are divided. And the next question is, how do you define success as a leader? Because I mean, I think a leader have to be successful in ruling or in governance in whatever way they are doing things. What is your definition of successful leader?
Mm, to me, basically, I would define success in a way that, like, me being able to empower others, um, to become confident, to become strong, and seeing my subjects, or maybe those that have been leading, take up leadership roles in the nearby future. Yes, I think that's how I would really define success in the aspect of leadership.
We are coming from a country that is divided, and for years people have experienced maybe tribalisms, either in a high government employment opportunities, scholarships, on all these sort of forms. So, what is your vision for the people that you are leading? Because I know these people are coming from all the 64 tribes of South Sudan, are all there in Makara Business School, and you are their leader. What is your vision for them? How do you want them to become? How do you want them to be when they go back to their respective places?
My vision for the people that I lead, or maybe the ones that I lead with, is to create a space where everyone is included, where the marginalized feel valued, everyone's voice is heard.
Okay. In our day-to-day living, we have this notion, or sometimes the common notion that is coming from people is that you hear in day-to-day basis that leaders are born. There are also people who believe that leadership can be acquired from formal education. Do you agree with this notion that leadership or maybe leaders are born?
To be honest, to me personally, I I I I I have this belief that leadership is learned. Yeah, anyone can actually become a leader as long as you're intentional about it. When you go to school, you're able to acquire certain skills. When you go to school, you're able to get um when you're able to get an opportunity to learn how to become a leader. So leadership is not about being born. You can be born with that traits, but then you need to learn. You need to engage yourself in leadership in order to acquire the experience. So to me, leadership is learned. Anyone can become a leader as long as you're intentional about being one.
So you mean the idea of leadership is being born in somebody is not still, I mean can be acquired from formal education, not being born.
I can't really say that leaders are not born, but my own view is that leadership can be learned. Anyone can become a leader as long as you're intentional. There are certain things that we need to put into practice. There are certain things that we need to learn from others. And if you're intentional about being a leader, then you can be one. Meaning that you can learn it from someone else. This whole thing of leaders being born, to me, I feel it is more of a myth than the truth. Yeah.
I mean, the common saying among the people is also you hear people, leaders are visionaries. To be a visionary, you have to be able to generate plans. How do you want to govern your people? How do you want to lead your institutions? And as a leader, I think also decision making matters. Sometimes you have to make an absolute decision, but sometimes also you have to listen to your subject. So we see a lot of leaders who are authoritarian. It could be a very small institution like yours. You can also be very dominant, not listening to your subject. So does it mean that, okay, by going to school, we just become leader, or sometimes as leaders, we have to be visionaries, we have to be well articulated? I mean, we are all eloquent, but I think the reason why I say, or maybe I believe leadership can be born is we have people whom we go to school with them or went to school with them, even in the class debate, they are very eloquent. So can you be a leader and not being eloquent at the same time, not being able to lead your people or govern your people in a very visionary ways?
Okay. Now, one thing we need to know about leadership is more to do with the service. It's not about authority. It's not about, trying to challenge others or trying to prove to them that, yes, Cecilia can actually, for me, I am a good leader. I am this and that. No. It's about making sacrifices, taking up roles. So whether you're eloquent or not, you can still become a leader. There are people that really have like they have what it takes, but sometimes because of fear, they decide to suppress it all. They don't rise up to become leaders. And the others fear to take up responsibilities. But if you're willing to do that, then if you're willing to serve your people, then why not? You can become a leader. And
As
then there are
leader,
those that are actually, yes,
continue.
yeah. So I was saying that there are those that are eloquent, but then they define leadership in a different aspect. Theirs could be more of being authoritative, like you want to be a ruler. So now there, leadership is going to lose its meaning.
As leaders, when we hear from people that your leadership style is not good, at that particular point, what do we have to do to correct that leadership style?
What do we have to do to correct that leadership style? So, first and foremost, there are really very many styles. Yeah, there is the autocratic style. So maybe for one to really be told first and foremost that maybe your leadership style is really not good, I think it's when you're trying to maybe become more of a ruler than a servant leader. So to me, maybe to answer that question, because we say that, okay, me personally, I believe in servant leadership. And this means that for me to be a servant leader, I should lead with integrity. And I should have this thought in mind that my people, the people that I lead, like their trust is my greatest asset to me. So if I really need to gain their trust, if I need to serve them so well, I need to work hand in hand with my team. I have to ensure that everyone's voice is heard and their ideas actually should have a meaning to the final decisions that we make. Because leadership is not a one-man thing. It's a contribution. It's a work of so many people.
Briefly, let me try to explain what we are talking here in Madi. Anya mandeka program negari ya mata jo leti of you for sector nega letting of medical ampado ngone yae mamvuti rekata jojo madi alose olore dido wa kaba sanda rekole kolo madi tilo zabadi ango kole kingwe ani furu je charity of pamfu du joro sita tuba jor nega sakole udukuna kefuatiniko kairibana asara bati avoy or kata leru. So Cecilia, I'm going to ask you more about the challenges and integrities. As a leader, I think we have to have integrities. And we are also not bound to have challenges. Challenge is always there to follow us wherever we go. So as a leader of South Sudan Student Association of Makare Business School, what are your greatest challenges you have ever faced and how did you overcome them?
As of current, the greatest challenge, or maybe challenges that I'm facing right now is like mobilization of resources is something that is really so challenging, and then mobilization of people. I've really gotten to realize that leading people at the university is not an easy thing, especially an association like ours, because people are in different hostels. It's not like maybe a high school where you're in a boarding school and you can easily parade people, you can mobilize people so fast because you're in one place. Now we're at a university where I am staying in Ibanda, my hostel is in Ibanda, the other person's hostel is in Nakawa, and I cannot like go to someone's room and start forcing them to come and attend to sometimes meetings. It is really very hard. So mobilization of resources, mobilization of people is really something that is so challenging. But how am I overcoming this? With the mobilization of resources, like if I've asked so many of the presidents and most of them are actually complaining of the same thing. Then I asked myself, Cecilia, the reason that's why you decided to become a leader is so that you can solve these problems. Yeah. So what are you going to do about it? I am also a business person, by the way. So I decided to talk to my cabinet members, the finance minister. We shared some ideas on how we can invest the little money that we collect from the different students. So we invested that money in different businesses so that it can keep on generating. And then the other thing is we keep on encouraging our members to always to contribute towards anything, or like if at all maybe there is an outreach that we need to carry out, we normally tell our students to contribute. And then there's also a subscription fee. It is actually the subscription fee that we keep on reinvesting it to get more money. And then when it comes to mobilization of people, here like me as the president, I'm trying my best to lower myself to the level of the students. I make sure that I'm always in their inbox trying to check them out, how they are doing and all, so that when I request them to actually come and maybe we have a meeting that needs to be done, they are able to comply so easily.
Okay. You talk about beside being a student, you also you're a business person, you are doing business. Something that you did not tell us in the beginning is what? Are you hearing me?
Yes. Could you just give me like 1 minute?
Close down your camera. Ama break luganga do. Okay, rekilango di tedi.
From the day I know it's out,
I'm really
my
sorry.
baby. Miguel Batai, wana hafizita, oh, baby. Oh, wana bali fulefu, wana shababu dusu. Ita bei sukuluyo, mana zuri boibo. Umakulu besmarudo, kanana meta ya habibu. Sita bei sukuluyo, mana zuri boibo. So take me with you on a doodoo ride. Be your wife and a zoo. Baby, take wanna do. Be a wife and a hustle.
Madi TV. Parane Vozodri A.
Karibu angeni pala gama yang itoidi ama amboti Cecilia to Cecilia nani president of Makare Business School South Sudan's student association president ama taizo endo tande kalo soloka mondarani di olojo diduri diga. Cecilia, I was asking you a question before you take a short break. You talk about beside being a student, you also a business person, and also something that you did not tell us in the beginning was what you are actually studying. You know, you're studying real estate, and after finishing, I mean, real estate is really takes a lot of leadership. You have to be a leader because I mean, there are people going to come to your business are going to be executive people, people from high classes or high profile. So, what kind of business are you doing?
Like you mean currently?
I mean,
Well,
because when you are
currently,
talking, you also mentioned something beside challenges of resources mobilization. You mentioned, you said, beside being a student, you also you like business or you are doing business.
yes.
Yeah.
So currently, I do sell tote bags. Yes, I sell tote bags and also jewelry to the students. Yes, they are my main target market, especially the females. Though the males can still support by buying for their sisters, for their mothers. Yeah.
For their girlfriend.
Yes, by the way.
Okay.
That one also works out.
At the end of the day, I think it would be nice for us to see how these bags look like. Maybe do you have sample of it with you?
Yes, I do.
Okay, let us continue. When we are coming towards the end, I will give you some few minutes to talk about that business you are doing. Well, we hear when people are talking about the leadership, most often you can hear this notion that I don't like negative criticisms. Being a leader, of course, there are always going to be some criticisms. And also, I think there are going to be pressure. How do you handle criticisms and the pressure?
Okay. Well, criticism is something that we really can't run away from. To me, basically, it sharpens me. So what I do is what doesn't really what doesn't contribute positively towards my life, I tend to ignore it. Yes. So the destructive criticisms I tend to ignore. But of course, still there are some that you feel people are actually criticizing you because you're not doing the right thing. So where I feel I need to really improve, I take action. I take action. And I always love feedback from my people. Like when I address today, how did I do it? Or maybe when I'm making a decision, is it a good one? Because we sit as a committee and come up with the decision that we normally with the final decision that we come up with. We do it as a team, and so when it comes to pressure, as okay, before I actually took up the leadership role, I expected that to happen. It is not something that is so surprising. Yes. Pressure normally comes with a lot of leadership comes with a lot of pressure, and it pushes me so much to work towards the responsibilities that I'm supposed to do, and I remain focused. But again, aside from that, I remember there was a time when President Yoweri Museveni was addressing. He said that as a leader, you ought to have a very thick skin, because very many people will always say a lot of things to you, but you should have that very thick skin in that when their words come, they actually bounce back to them. So that is what I'm really trying to adapt to. Yes.
And so I'm going to ask you much more about leadership, and we are going to talk later about how can young people like you ascend to leadership. Of course, that's the main topic here we are talking about. Most often, you hear people complain about this has to do also with the churches, bishop, pastors, whatever title they hold, and local leaders, politicians, all sort of leaders. You hear this. It could also be, I think, the constitution of your university, because there's no term, there's no extensions of term limiting. When your terms come to an end, your term will come to an end. That is automatically you are going to leave. The fresh one have to take. This is, I think, also something that the politicians should learn from you. And so you hear normal people talk about so and so refuse to relinquish power, so and so refuse to step down. And what do you think are the leaders afraid of today to relinquish power or to step aside to give young people like you chance to rule? What are the most fearful? What are the things that the leaders are fearful about, including yourself?
Uh, 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 to me, basically, I think the reason as to why some leaders tend not to leave power is because of fear. They fear to lose the influence that they have already created, and perhaps also the privileges that they are getting. Um, because truth be told, here in Africa, if you're to look at our leadership, I told you earlier on, for me, I believe in servant leadership. Yeah. But if you're to look at our kind of leadership that we're having right now, it's more like a career now. So now, if Cecilia happens to be the president, she will obviously tend not to give out power to the young generation, because that is now her source of income. That is where she gets her money from. That's where she gets the bread for her family from. So if I leave, it means I'm going to go back maybe to zero. And I'm also going to lose the influence that I've already created. And yet, true leadership is all about service and giving the young generation the opportunity to also lead. Because every generation comes with its own challenges. And to me, I feel like the people in that generation are the right ones to have solutions to such challenges. So as a good leader, it is always good to know when to step down, or hand over the baton to the next person. That is how leadership is supposed to be.
And so when all the leaders are sticking to the power, I'm not talking about the political power. This thing happened in the churches, in Yei, in Kajukeji, in Bor, as we are talking now, the church of, Anglican Church of South Sudan is in Kras, is in Bor. And so when all the leaders refuse to step down, when do you think the young generation will have the chance to take the leadership? And what should they do?
Okay. You see, when we talk of leadership, it's not about maybe having to hold a big position. You can still create an influence where you are. It could be within your community. If you really want to bring changes, you can start. Like for me right now, I'm in the university, and I know I can serve my students right. So if I'm done with the university, meaning I'm going to go out there, the first thing I should do is become a leader in my community. If I'm so intentional about my servant leadership, I can still start serving my people. I don't need to become a revelant in order to serve my people. I don't need to become the president of South Sudan to create some change in my community. You see? So to me, I feel like we, the young generation, South Sudan in particular, like we can lead, we can start serving our people right where we are. We don't need to become politicians in order to become leaders. No, we don't need that. But you see, when you start small, the right time will come. Because whether the leaders love it or not, time is going to come where they will have to leave. You see, people come, people go. So if you don't want to live peacefully, time will come where maybe nature will just dictate it and you'll have to leave. So if you've been serving your people right, your time will come. And then you will grab the opportunity, and your people will actually be, they'll be privileged to vote you and put you there, because they know it that yes, Cecilia is the right person to sit there. She's been working so hard, even when she was not in a top position. So here, what does this mean? That leadership is not about the titles. Leadership is not about the position that you hold, but the great service that you render unto your people.
Okay. You say leadership can start with a merely community leader, village leaders, whatever title is there, start from there. We have had great revolutionary leader like Johnny Garang, late Johnny Garang, the current sitting president of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni. They met in Dar es Salaam the way back in, I think, 60, when they were a student in Dar es Salaam University. Some of these leaders start with a merely class prefect or class monitors. And today they are at the highest level of the country's top job. They are presidents. Is Mr. Poto try to become or emulate the example of these leaders after finishing from Makara University? Are you going to enter into the leadership roles, not only at the village level, but to the highest level, just like the two leaders I mentioned here?
I'll still keep on insisting. You see, leadership, as I defined it earlier, how I understand it, leadership is about taking up responsibilities. So I believe in servant leadership. So whether in politics, whether in church, I am willing to serve my people. So when the opportunity comes, why not? Of course, I'll take it. I'll gladly take it.
Okay. Let us talk about teamwork and empowerment. How do you ensure that there are women or youth group or marginalized groups' voices being heard in your leadership? I know you have young people in your universities, and gradually after leaving from there, as you said, you're going to go to the village, start a community leadership. How is this current presidency preparing you to take a role in the future so that the voiceless voices are going to be represented by you?
Okay, so what in my current leadership, what we do is everyone is given an opportunity to air out their views. Yeah. And what I normally do is, especially those that I work with right now, I give everyone a chance to say out their mind. When you really have a great idea, we give you the chance to speak it out. And of course, if it is going to bring a great impact, like to the association, then we shall consider it when we are making decisions. We include everyone, whether you're a woman, whether you're a man, whether you're marginalized or not, everyone is included. And everyone's idea is heard. And we also implement where we feel like there is really something great that is going to come out of that idea. If it is really going to move the association to another level, then yes, we do that. And then the other thing is, I always love the aspect of gratitude. We tend to appreciate everyone, you see. So the little things that you do are always appreciated, and that thing motivates people. So today, uh, if Miss Cecilia, let me use myself, if Miss Cecilia gives an idea and the rest of the team is able to appreciate it, next time I'll also be motivated to give it out, because I feel like you gain that bit of, like, confidence, and and also that you believe in you, that yeah, there are people who actually value my ideas. So we value everybody.
Hmm.
Yes.
Right. Let's move forward. I'm going to ask you more about accountability and transparency. We have seen leaders in various sectors refusing to be held accountable. And so, in your position, how do you want yourself to be held accountable? And why do you think leaders are refusing to be held accountable for whatever they do?
Um, for me, basically, I feel okay. Open communication is always very important.
Madi TV. Parane Vozodri A.
Okay, you can continue.
Yeah, so I was saying that, like with the transparency, open communication is always very important. Sometimes you make decisions, they could be tough decisions, and then your subject, okay, let me use the right word, like the people that you lead might actually be asking you, so why did you take up this decision? It is always good to explain it to them, to make them understand, because transparency is something that it's very vital when it comes to leadership, and it creates trust. So when you lose that trust from your people, it really becomes very difficult to lead them. And then the second question about why some leaders do not want to be accountable. Um, with accountability, sometimes it can actually expose one's weaknesses. So you find out that some leaders do not want to be transparent because they fear that their weaknesses will be exposed. And yet, transparency is very important. As I said it earlier, transparency is something very, very important, because it builds really that trust between you and the people that you're leading, even your team members. So if you lose it, if you lose that trust from the people, then it will be very hard for you to lead the people.
So, in that way, do you think the leaders who lose public trust will be held accountable for whatever crime or whatever things they do?
Come again?
Based on what you said there are people who refuse to be accountable because, to them, being transparent is going to expose them from the thing that they do. So if you become that kind of a leader, do you believe the public should hold you accountable for that?
Um, yes, of course, they will hold me accountable. They will. Though when I talked of the aspect of servant leadership comes with integrity. So meaning that if you're someone who really leads with integrity, you're serving with integrity, then I don't see any need of you not like being transparent, because there is nothing at all that you can hide. Yeah, there is nothing that you can hide. Um, like from some of the things that I've really seen is sometimes leaders maybe eating associations money, yeah, and so it becomes very hard for you maybe to tell people, or that, yeah, to tell the people that you're leading how the money has gone, how you spent it and all that. It becomes very hard if you misused it. But if you didn't, and it was really invested in very important things, then I don't really see any need of you not being transparent to them.
Okay, we are nearing closing to the end. Now we are talking about future and advice. I have a friend who is a very young person. He's a lawyer in South Sudan. He's based in Juba. One time or twice, at least, or three times, he sent me an email asking my view about how he want to join politics, want to become MP representing Pageri, the greatest Pageri, Payam area, that is in my area where I came from. And when you look at the young people today, mostly people think, okay, the old generation do not want to give us space to take leadership roles. Yet when we are talking here, you talk about creating your own leadership, starting community work, start organizing youth in the village, going to maybe diggings, things, something like that, forming association where you can be the chairperson. This is all about leadership. So in your own view, how can young people prepare themselves for future leadership roles? That would be the last question. I want you to stress
Okay.
on this. I want you to emphasize on this because you're a young person. You took upon yourself to become the leader of a student in Makarere, students who are coming from South Sudan. So to a youth who is sitting in Pagering a camp, Bidi camp, someone who is in a Arua, Ajumani, Nimule, Yei, Lanya, wherever they are sitting folding their hands. They think they cannot be leaders. And yet also we have counselors. In all these Payam in South Sudan, in Boma area, you have the chief, you have the counselors of the chief. In a district, you have the LDC, you have the village leader, LC1, things like that. How do you think the young people should prepare themselves for leadership roles for future?
Okay. Now there is also this saying that little by little a bird builds its nest. So you're not just going to wake up in the morning. Okay, you're not going to wake up one day and say, yes, I want to become the president of South Sudan. You can start small. Yes, you can start by being a prefect. If you're still in the primary level, you can be a prefect of your class. You can move on to being the head boy or the head girl of the school. When you go to A level, or let me say high school, you can do the same thing. So as you engage yourself in these small leadership roles, you're gaining experience. You're gaining experience from them. So by the time you're done, you're out there and you're already experienced. You have all the things that you need, and it will be easier for you. What does this mean? Always start small. If you For you to to to, to achieve big in life, you have to start small and be humble. Be intentional about becoming a leader. Leadership is not about holding a position. It's not about, like in your current like in the primary level, it's not about gaining the certificate. You might be given that certificate and yet you have not done anything. It is not going to make any sense because you've not learned anything. You're just being awarded that certificate. It might add something, some value to your CV in the future, but you will not be proud because you know that you didn't work so hard for that certificate. You work, serve your people. Leadership is all about service. Serve your people. Lead with integrity. Be humble. And let power not really be the one to control you. It shouldn't be power-hungry.
So in the other way, people should not aim at leadership because they want to get money.
I think money shouldn't really be the major thing. Yeah, it should be maybe some bit of a reward, something like that. But there should be a driving force. There should be something that is the biggest thing that should really motivate you to become a leader is the need to serve your people. Because we are really coming from a country where, like, our people need great leaders. They need servant leaders. But not people who are going to rule them, people who are going to threaten their lives. No.
So if you had any advice to this young generation, the leaders, the future leader, the young generations who are aspiring to be leader, what would that be? And that will be the last remark that you are going to give. Then you are going to present as the pieces of the sample of your bags.
As I said earlier on, actually, I thought I was answering that question. Start small, be humble, lead with integrity. Bear in mind that leadership is not a one-man's thing. You need to work as a team to create change. Yes, when you get the opportunity to lead or maybe to be ahead in your class, inspire others, build them up so that when you leave, they are able to take after you. Yes.
All right, let's hear a song. Let us give you 2 minutes to get the stuff.
Okay.
Sisi mari topika, mari tiri matara. Ako pelere aku, kimasi kare murara. Tubande bitan bini putri andara sota. Kimasi kare makira, baby baby mandura. Nireke muna, ako tere mesura. Manipula yako, kama siti tambara.
Madi TV. Parane Vozodri A.
Okay, you talk about beautiful grab away bags for ladies. So as
Yeah. They are good for university students, even for mothers, especially the Christian mothers. Even if you're a Muslim, it can also work. You can put in your clothes, your Bible inside. And like for instance, if you're having maybe an occasion, you can drop there some few clothes. Yes, so they are affordable as well, not too expensive. We have different prints. Like this one is an African woman. We also do print on godly words. If you have a scripture, we can do that for you. If you also want it plain, we also do that. The reason as why we're having more of this is because the university students really love them so much, the design. So that's why we're having more of this. But if at all you have, like, if you want it to be customized, we also do that.
So it's like when I want it to be branded with my picture, it can also be done that way.
Yeah, yes.
And with whatever text that I want to inscribe on.
Come again?
With whatever biblical text or any text that I want it to be written on can be done.
Yes, we do that.
How much is that?
This one is only 20,000 shillings.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And it's just
That is
grab
the
that take away back. You can just put your jalebi and then you grab that, you begin to walk to the market as well to buy your greens.
that is that is true. That is true. So they're actually multi-purpose. And the other thing is 20,000 is the actual price, but now if you're far away, delivery will be on you.
Okay.
Yes.
So angi amanda kare begi lo sare ba tiare de zangwa amai hostele ani di South Sudanese student di makare business school gare yo ki begi da kazi ya ko ya alif mudiri begi di jozi lo sinye boyfriend angi le jelenga girlfriend ya nga girlfriend on ngila ko balaka ni bawa jo ile lo se ko se kini le jozi laka asa kasi siawa city si je alif mudiri on tari ko ya student association ni support jo so jongi angwela de ngele begidira after the so ni nya request zewa ni sitamari mari tv area madu ami deliver dia rura amaba mabekira sample tidura ami posta dia rabale karabatini aputa was just simply saying that if there's anybody willing out there to buy one or grab one for their girlfriend, or they wanted to be designed in very special manner for their girlfriend, they can also send their pictures, or else they can also put their demands on our Mari TV page here. Then eventually we are going to forward it to you, and at the end of the show maybe you can send some of the picture to us so that we can also share it with the public here. And I think briefly this is all about what we cover today. Before I let you go, you stay in Nimule for quite a long time. To our viewer, do you have any single Madi word you want to say to them?
I really can't tell, honestly, because I was always in boarding and I never got an opportunity to learn Madi language. I'm sorry.
For the last 2 years, you stayed in Nimule.
Yes, yes, yes.
You have just eaten our cassava for no good reason.
But I didn't eat cassava from there.
All right.
But
so I think official
the
this.
next time you're going to host me, I'm going to do something. Actually, this is not a challenge for me to learn the language.
And so I think I'd not want to host you because you want to force yourself to learn maybe just a simple mere greeting. And we are very privileged to host you here, and we are very privileged that you have stayed in our land. You enjoy the beautiful land of Madi, the beautiful view of the River Nile, Mountain Gordon, and all these nice people of Nimule. So we wish you all the best in your leadership roles and also in your education career. Hopefully that we're going to have somebody who's going to be dealing with the real estate in South Sudan, and eventually I'm going to buy my first house from you maybe.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah, if at all I have money to buy.
You will. Why not?
So I really appreciate
Yes.
hosting you here once again. If there's anything that you want to say, you can say, and then we can exit the talk. So.
Okay. All I want to say is that I'm really so grateful. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share out my views based on this topic of leadership. And to the viewers, I'm grateful that you've taken your time to stay with us till the end. This really means resilience. I know there are some that's left, maybe because of other unavoidable circumstances. Still, I appreciate them for having joined us and for being part of this great session. I don't really take this for granted. Thank you for your time, and may the Almighty God continue to guide you and protect you. And then maybe the one last thing is a request. Maybe next time, if at all we don't have Muslims here, maybe next time we should, I think, start with the word of prayer.
Well, I think we can do the prayer section much more on Sunday section because we have program to run on Sunday. That would be nice when we are discussing about the word of God, but today is more of a TV show, so we don't do prayer for that, but we can like a suggestion very seriously. Next time, maybe we can implement it. Thank you.
It's okay. Thank you too.
All right. So Anyamanda Kari, the Jama, so Amadi and Tina Serega, Mangwato Idimaruni Garrison, Amuda Jerosi Beg getting in a ride, Angin a request Barewa, Kusano de Batima from Mi Postadera, Bale Kara Batine. I'm apologize and to Tia Mebulari Tiamadi Kosi, Kiba, we mean so a major ribate Kamadi Joa Kriko, a Mabe Jida Squamara, me Subari Disi, Uje, Tani Jonzare, Ami Genewa, Ami Hostama Dupi Silva Exindiago, Ami Hostama Voti, a Chan Nibu, Annie from Nebi District, Ami Host Cecilia Nidia twice in Anendo, Annie from South Sudan. So it's not necessary that everyone who is going to come here must speak in Madi, as long as they are trying to bring for us knowledge. So to the comment section, people who commented yesterday, this is what we do here. So Madi TV is open for any group of people or individual who want to come and give us knowledge here. So we appreciate everyone. And also, I think I remember hosting our sister Fifi Music here. She's a Madi, but she cannot express herself in Madi. So it's okay with us to host the different background of people from different areas. So this is not only going to be Cecilia about Cecilia, but also if there is somebody out there who wanted to be hosted here on Madi TV, we shall be willing to host that individual. So Cecilia, I very much appreciate your time, and I wish you all the good luck with your leaders pro in your current post. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Madi TV.